I do not trust that. I do not trust one of our shirts. Literally,
My God, there are a lot of you.
Yep.
That exact thing.
Would you rather not deserve us? I didn't deserve
No. Yeah, you folks take up way more room than the younger kids.
Yeah, we're a little more.
Kind of weird. All right, so I'd like to get questers up. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
yeah, just
Wow.
in the face right now, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Alright.
Although, yeah, you can thumb in the face with a fish.
Line off.
A dolphin. Hermit crab. So,
Oh dear.
Poppet Lady.
Fun.
The Poppet Lady, I told you, at the best of times, is a disconcerting
Figure.
She's got some mad
individual.
moves.
She's got some mad moves, yeah, right? Up here from Rome. So,
Yeah.
So for those of you that didn't know whose body that was that she was inhabiting, that was Agent Talon of the Foundation. Now, it's not the first time that she's jumped into his body,
No doubt, not the last.
and the first time she did it, he was in a pink dress, and he was dancing around wildly in the parking lot. He'd been missing for a day and a half. Had gone off the reservation. The Foundation had been searching for him, and turns out that the Poppet Lady found him and put him in a pink dress, and so he started dancing in the parking lot right as the Foundation Blackhawks were coming by, and he went out and he looked up, she looked up, whoever, and waved, and the Blackhawks circled, and you could see a figure lean out and kind of point down at the wee dancing pink speck, that it was, and then head off. Now, Agent Talon, I'm sure, has already been reprimanded. Not like it was his fault, but I will say, I really prefer Agent Talon in a pink dress, or whatever he was wearing with the fish all over it today. He's a much more pleasant individual. He's been carrying around a celestial bronze bat all summer. I'm not afraid to use it. So, Agent Talon comes down here and, of course, hangs out, dances with all of you as the Poppet Lady, and she can jump into anybody's body she wants. She's older than all of you guys, and
She's older than Gaia. She's older than everybody.
so that's why she's able to have poppets of the gods on her bandolier, poppets of you, poppets of the counselors and CITs. Now she's pretty much invented something that we call these days sympathetic magic. And for those of you that don't know what this is, think of like a voodoo doll. All right, the voodoo doll is a representation of a person, and by wrapping hair or fingernail clippings or a person's blood or something like that, you have imbued that doll with your energy. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but she has imbued that doll with your energy. Now, sympathetic magic now means whatever she does to that doll happens to you. So, we don't know the extent of her powers. She is as dotty as a loon. I mean, let's not mince words here. By our standards, she is a crazy person. She is so old, I don't expect that there's a lot of logic and reason that we recognize.
Mr. D has a very good representation.
How... You didn't just say that, I promise. However, she has helped us out from time to time. And today, after you were done dancing, very good, by the way, I'll comment on the conga line and the problems that probably caused for the entire camp with sympathetic magic a little bit later on. So she helped us out again today, I think, when she whispered into my ear that we would all die if we left for Quest today. That whatever it was could wait, It was unimportant. Just wait a day. So we did not go out today at her urging. And it wasn't really urging. It was like, go out if you want, but you're all going to die. And it was unclear as to whether or not she meant just the questers or the like all demigods, like the entire camp. So instead of doing that, decided let's not go out today, and see how that goes. We have a bunch of loose threads still from Monday. We went on that quest and we had a mortal who was attacked. We heard this morning from Agent Smith's diary that mortals should be ignored by the clique. And I beg to differ. Now, you were going to ask around up on Mount Olympus, right, Mr. D?
Yeah.
So what did the gods say about the identity of the person on Mount Olympus? Have they gotten back to you?
No one on Olympus claimed him, even after. Sometimes sometimes we'll claim
Isis, you asked your question about the man who was killed by the clique.
Yes.
But you did not ask the keeper of secrets.
Because you freaked me out.
He was my son. And as I did not start claiming demigods until recently, he was too old to attend your camp and receive training. But I kept his secret for a purpose. And he has served his purpose. Good luck.
All right. Tecate Cabin, your mom's a little hard. I'm sorry to say.
Love you, Mom.
Wow. All right. So apparently his purpose was to delay the clique from eating you guys.
Or something.
Nice. Sweet. She's a sweet lady.
Yes.
Of course, you wouldn't have done the same.
Yeah, and
I don't know what to do with that.
I would approach her first. She charges a price for her secrets. So yeah.
Well, Hecate
Wait.
Cabin, we're sorry you lost a brother.
Well, if we got something and she takes for a price, what's the price?
I mean, in the case of that demigod, it was his life. Unfortunately. What's that?
Gonna have to put up another lantern.
Yep. All right. So then erase that last part. Whatever Agent Smith asserts about
Apparently
Yeah.
still
the
true.
clique is still true then. So, all right. So, have you seen anything Egyptian at all today? At all? Have you seen anything? A papyrus scroll, a small sarcophagus. Yeah.
There was that one mythomagic piece I saw with the Egyptian eye on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of those things I made.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you said
And there were a
anything.
few mummies.
Were there any click sightings or mummy sightings
No
or anything
noises.
like that today?
No noises, nothing. I mean, completely
The
silent.
only thing unusual that happened was the visit by the Papa.
That was
No,
it.
the only thing that's unusual is that we weren't attacked.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's the biggest
Well, that is
unusual
the
thing.
The first day in years, we have not been attacked. We're encountered.
If you want to call the
All right, so-
puppet lady thing a non-attack.
So then, if I were
There was a dog that just
if I were a betting person, I'd say tomorrow's going to be a visit to hell.
Fun.
So
Going home.
Let's get on the highway.
You're going first.
And Pluto, apparently.
Hey, we're on the highway. Might as well go.
so anyways, how many of you have had a chance to take a look at the diary so far this year?
No.
Not
Well,
this year.
of course you have. You can read it fluently, yes. For those of you who have not yet taken the opportunity to take a look at the diary, have we talked about this yet? How many of you know what this is? Can you raise your hand? Okay. The diary, for those of you that don't know, is the diary of H.G. Wells, who used to belong to the League of Machines and Monsters. A really awful group of individuals. Most of them sons and daughters of Hephaestus. They've been around starting wars since the time of Alexander the Great. And this has no this has no kind of poor reflection on any of the Hephaestus kids. This is just the way it is. They started wars and sold arms and armor and technology of the age to both sides of the fight. Pretty despicable. And then they would find the demigods involved in the fight, because invariably in any great war, you're going to find demigods. And after the war had concluded and the grieving process began, and it was time to go through the carnage in the aftermath of the horrors of war, they would find the demigods and go, would your parents do this if they loved you? Would they treat you this way? Would they treat humanity so callously? Join us. And we'll create a power that we can control. We'll build it, and you'll help us. And then we'll use it for the betterment of humanity and demigods. But you're going to have to renounce your parents and help us root them out, because their names are hidden under the rocks and stones, under the mountains, in the leaves of the trees, on the wind. And we're going to have to root them out from all places. And we'll need you as foot soldiers to do that. Now, that was their true calling. Renounce the gods and create a power that we can control. However, if you weren't a son or daughter of Hephaestus, they would hook you up to a machine and extract your animus, killing you. And they would put your animus in an automaton or a monster, imbuing either of those two things with your spirit. Now, guess what the magical borders of camp recognize? They don't care what color shirt you're wearing, or if you can wield a sword, or if you're wearing Nikes or Chucks. They care about whether or not you have the animus of a demigod. So guess what came waltzing through our borders year after year?
Monsters and automatons.
And the real despicable part of that was, the reason those monsters got in was because it was one of us. So we fought the League of Machines and Monsters for years. Eventually, we came across the Wandering Temple of Hephaestus. And it was a temple that Lord Hephaestus, knowing that he would have sons and daughters fall into darkness, commanded Daedalus to build him a temple that had both the black marble of the Titans and the white marble of Mount Olympus, and send it through time. It appeared to cultures all over the world at different times. Each of those cultures seeing the temple through the lens of their own culture and thinking that it was something their deities were sending them as a message. There's evidence now in the book that the Crusades may have happened in small part as a result of seeing the temple. And nobody could figure out how to get to it. Now, inside, it was said, was hidden the greatest of all treasures. And so the League found out about that and said, well, we hate the gods, we hate